You keep replaying it. Their words, their silence. The moment they stopped choosing you. You wonder why you weren't enough. Why you were left behind, like a story they were done reading. But this was never about your worth. It's about their failure to meet you there. To love you fully, deeply, honestly. So today, it's not about them anymore. It's about you. Finally loving yourself enough to walk away. To begin where they never had the courage to start. Chapter 1. Stop waiting for them to choose you. Waiting for someone who doesn't see your worth is like holding sand in your hand while it slips away, grain by grain, with no chance to hold on. They made their choice the moment they walked away. You didn't lose them because you weren't enough. You lost them because they chose not to stay. And that's not your fault. That's not your problem to fix. Your job isn't to change what they decided. It's to stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop standing still while your life moves on without you. You have to let go of the idea that if you just wait long enough, if you just prove yourself more, if you just become what they want, then maybe, just maybe, they'll come back. That's a lie you tell yourself because the pain of moving forward feels unbearable. But waiting only steals your time and your peace. It's a slow theft of your heart, a quiet erosion of your soul. Every minute spent waiting is a minute you don't get back. Every thought circling their name is a thought that could have been spent healing yourself. Like a plant denied sunlight, you can't grow in the shade of someone else's indecision. They chose the shade. They chose the cold. And you were meant to thrive under the sun. You were meant to bloom. Waiting for them to choose you is like rooting yourself in darkness, expecting to blossom. But it won't happen. That's not how life works. You can't force growth where there's no light. Recognize that waiting is a slow poison to your soul. It seeps into your bones and dulls your spirit. It makes you smaller, quieter, less of who you were meant to be. Waiting traps you in a loop of what-ifs and maybe someday. It keeps you frozen in the past, where they hold all the power. But they already showed you who they are. They walked away. They didn't fight for you. They didn't stay. And that truth is the starting point of your freedom. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their explanations or their excuses. You need yourself. You need to shift your energy from chasing them to chasing yourself. Chase your dreams. Chase your happiness. Chase your worth. That's where real power lives. Not in their approval. Not in their return. But in your own hands, your own heart. So stop waiting for them to come around. Stop waiting for signs, for messages, for a change of heart. Stop waiting for the moment when you'll feel ready to move on. The moment is now. The readiness is inside you, even when it doesn't feel like it. You can't wait for someone who's already chosen a different path. You have to choose yourself first. Start by reclaiming your time. Fill your days with things that remind you of your value. Surround yourself with people who see you, who celebrate you, who want the best for you. When the thoughts of them creep in, recognize them, but don't let them settle. You can acknowledge the pain without letting it define you. You can feel the hurt without becoming it. Stop thinking about what you lost. Start thinking about what you can build, what you can create, what kind of person you want to become after this. Let your energy focus on growth, on healing, on becoming whole again, because you will become whole again. You might not believe it now. You might feel broken and empty, but that's the thing about growth. It happens in the cracks. Stop waiting for closure. Closure is something you give yourself. It's not a moment someone else hands to you. It's the decision to stop turning over the past and start turning toward your future. You don't need their permission to heal. You don't need their choice to move on. You already have what you need inside you. Choosing yourself means saying no to the endless waiting game. It means deciding that your peace is more important than their indecision. It means valuing your time more than their absence. It means loving yourself enough to say, I deserve better than this limbo. Because you do. You deserve love that doesn't hesitate, that doesn't waver, that doesn't leave you in the shadows. Reclaim your power by setting boundaries. Stop answering calls or messages that only pull you back into the past. Stop checking their social media or replaying conversations in your head. These habits keep you stuck. They keep you tethered to someone who already chose not to be with you. Instead, fill those moments with affirmations about your worth. Remind yourself daily that you are whole, even alone. Your self-worth is not a prize to be won. It's a birthright. Waiting for them to recognize it only delays your own recognition. You have to see yourself clearly, with all your flaws and all your beauty, and choose you anyway. Choose your happiness, your peace, your future. Choose to stop waiting. Shift your focus to your dreams. What were you passionate about before they entered your life? What dreams did you shelve, waiting for us to happen? Dust those off. Start small. Take one step today towards something that excites you, something that makes you feel alive. The more you invest in yourself, the less space you'll have to wait for someone else's choice. You can't grow in the shade, but you can bloom in the sun. You can't build your life in the waiting room of someone else's indecision, but you can build an empire on the foundation of your own worth. Stop waiting. Start living. Remember, they already showed you who they are. They made their choice. Now it's time for you to make yours. Choose freedom over fear. Choose yourself over someone who never chose you. Choose growth over waiting. This is your beginning. The moment you stop waiting for them to choose you, you step into your power. You stop being a passenger in your own life and become the driver. And once that shift happens, healing can truly begin. You don't need their validation to move forward. You only need your own courage. So take that courage now. Feel the pain without becoming it. Let yourself grieve, but don't get stuck in the grief. Let it fuel your transformation. This isn't the end of your story. It's where you begin. Next, we'll explore how to feel the pain without becoming it. Learning to sit with your heartbreak without letting it consume you. Because healing doesn't mean forgetting. Healing means feeling deeply, then rising stronger. And that's what's coming next. Chapter 2. Feel the pain without becoming it. Pain is not the enemy. It's the loud, ugly signal flashing inside you, screaming for attention. It's raw and unfiltered, and it feels unbearable in the quiet hours when the world isn't demanding your strength. But here's the truth you need to hear. Pain isn't something to run from. You have to feel it fully and fiercely without letting it swallow you whole. You can't numb this. You can't distract it away or shove it into a corner of your mind. Pain is not the problem. Ignoring it is. You might want to reach for the quick fix late-night scroll, the empty drink, the numbing of your senses. But that only delays the reckoning you need. That pain inside isn't a punishment. It's a messenger. It's telling you that something inside you is broken, yes, but more importantly, that something inside you needs care. It needs attention. It needs to be seen and understood. You have to lean into that message. You have to stare it down and say, I see you. Because until you do, it will keep knocking, louder and louder. Feeling broken doesn't mean you are broken. This is the hardest lesson to hold on to when the ache presses down on your chest like a weight you can't lift. But listen close, lifeling. Broken means you're human. It means you're in the middle of healing. It means you are alive, and you are working through the cracks. Don't let the despair trick you into thinking you are beyond repair. You are not. You are a soul in the middle of becoming whole again. That's why you feel shattered. You are rearranging your pieces to build something new. When you feel that raw hurt, do not mistake it for your identity. You are not your pain. It's a part of your story, but it's not the whole story. Your heart may be bruised, but it still beats. Your spirit may be weary, but it still fights. You are still here, and that is proof that you can move beyond this. Pain will come and go, but you are the constant. You will outlast the storm if you don't give up on yourself. Use your pain like a compass, not a cage. Too many people let their heartbreak become a prison. They build walls around their sorrow and lock themselves in. But pain doesn't have to be a cell. It can be a guide. It can show you where you need to look deeper at yourself, at your boundaries, at what you allowed and what you tolerated. Pain points you toward what needs fixing. It points you toward what you need to forgive maybe yourself, maybe them, maybe the situation. It points you toward what you need to build anew, brick by brick, with care and intention. This is your chance to listen to the truth beneath the hurt. What did this pain teach you about your needs, about your worth, about the lines you will never cross again? What parts of yourself did you lose while waiting for someone who never chose you? Pain reveals those gaps. It uncovers the places where you gave too much and got too little back. It shines a harsh light on the parts of you that stayed silent when you should have spoken up. Use that light. Follow it. Let it lead you to the version of yourself that refuses to settle again. Stop numbing. Stop pretending you're fine when you're not. Stop telling yourself that time will magically erase the hurt without any effort from you. Time alone doesn't heal. Time with awareness and action does. This isn't about hiding from your feelings or putting on a brave face for the world. This is about meeting your pain with honesty and respect. It's about saying, I won't let this pain define me, but I will let it teach me. You don't have to fix everything at once. Healing isn't a race. It's a process. Some days you will feel like you're moving forward. Other days it will feel like you're back at square one. That's okay. Be patient with your heart. Give it the space it needs. Let yourself cry. Let yourself rage. Let yourself feel the silence that comes after the storm. These are not signs of weakness. They are signs that you are working through the layers of your pain, peeling them back one at a time. Remember, the pain you feel is temporary. It will not last forever. You will survive this. You will come out on the other side stronger, clearer, and more in tune with who you are meant to be. But only if you allow yourself to feel it fully, not run from it. You have to face the truth that they never chose you, and that truth will hurt. But within that hurt lies your power to choose yourself. When you stop waiting for their return or their apology, you begin to reclaim your life. When you stop idealizing what was never real, you start to see yourself with new eyes that recognize your worth without someone else's validation. Pain is the doorway to that freedom. It is the raw material from which you will rebuild your sense of self. Use that pain to guide you, not to trap you. Let it be the compass pointing to your next steps. What do you need to forgive? What do you need to release? What do you need to build that you've never allowed yourself before? This is your moment to rewrite your story. You are not broken beyond repair. You are breaking open to something new. You have to let go. Stop waiting for closure that will never come from them. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore, it's about you. It's about your healing, your peace, your future. Feel the pain without becoming it. Let it teach you without controlling you. Let it guide you without imprisoning you. Your journey continues, and the next step is clear. Stop idealizing what was never real. Because until you do, you will keep carrying a shadow of a person who never chose you, and that shadow will keep stealing your light. You deserve better. You deserve the truth. This pain is the price of that truth. Pay it honestly, and you will find freedom on the other side. Chapter 3. Stop idealizing what was never real. Your mind is a storyteller. It rewrites the past like a novel, editing out the painful parts and spotlighting the moments that felt good. It turns mistakes into fairy tales. The nights you cried alone become the nights you shared laughter. The silences that cut deep become pauses full of promise. This is the heartbreak trap. Your mind wants to protect you by softening the truth. But softening the truth keeps you chained to what never was. You have to stop idealizing what was never real. That means facing the truth no matter how ugly or disappointing. The truth sets you free. It doesn't matter what you wish had happened, what you imagined, or what you hoped for. What matters is what actually happened, what they actually showed you, not who you wanted them to be, but who they really were. Think back. Remember the moments when they didn't show up. The times they said one thing and did another. The times they made you feel small, unworthy, invisible. Those moments are your anchor. Hold on to those moments. Those moments are your reality check. Don't let your mind rewrite those memories. Don't let your heart soften those edges. Those moments are the truth that breaks the illusion. You might want to believe they cared more than they did. You might tell yourself they just got lost or scared or confused. You might think if you had been different, they would have stayed. You might believe that all the good times mean something real. But that's the trap. Because the good times are not proof of what you want them to be proof of. They are just moments that felt good. Moments that distracted you from the truth. You have to see the relationship clearly. Not through rose-colored lies. Not through the filter of loneliness or desperation. Not through the smoke and mirrors your heart creates to protect itself. Clarity is painful. It feels like ripping off a bandage that's been covering a deep wound. But clarity frees you. It frees you from false hope. It frees you from waiting for someone who never chose you. It frees you from the endless cycle of what if and maybe next time. Ask yourself, when did they show you who they really were? Not who you wanted them to be, but who they are. The cold nights they ignored your calls. The promises they broke without apology. The times they put their needs ahead of yours without remorse. The moments they made you question your worth. Those are the moments that reveal the truth. Stop glossing over these moments. Stop pretending they don't matter. Stop telling yourself they were just having a bad day or going through something tough. That's not your burden to carry. They already showed you who they are. You don't have to wait for their apology or explanation. You don't have to wait for them to change. You don't have to wait for closure. You have to let go. Letting go doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't hurt. Letting go means accepting the truth fully, without excuses or compromises. It means seeing the relationship for what it was. A chapter that ended because they never chose you. And that's okay. Because this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. This is about reclaiming your power, reclaiming your self-worth, reclaiming your future. When you stop idealizing what was never real, you open space for something real to come in. You stop chasing shadows and start chasing your own healing. You stop living in the past and start building your tomorrow. Here's what to stop thinking. Stop telling yourself it was your fault. Stop imagining they loved you in secret. Stop believing that if you just tried harder, they would come back. Stop waiting for them to choose you. choice was made long ago. You just didn't see it clearly yet. Here's what to start doing. Start writing down the moments that showed you who they really were. Write it all down. The good, the bad, the ugly, without sugarcoating. Write it as a way to anchor yourself in reality. Then read it back when your mind starts to rewrite the story. Let the facts ground you. Let the truth remind you why you deserve better. Start setting boundaries with your thoughts. When your mind drifts into fantasy, pull it back like a leash. When you catch yourself idealizing, say out loud, "This isn't real. This isn't true." It sounds simple, but it works. It trains your brain to stop feeding the illusion. Start surrounding yourself with reminders of your worth. Pictures, affirmations, friends who see your value. Fill your environment with truth and love. Let that be your new anchor. Not the lies you told yourself about them, but the reality of who you are. You might feel like this process is cold or harsh, like you're being too hard on yourself or on them. But this is not about punishment. This is about healing. Sometimes healing means facing hard truths. Sometimes healing means breaking down illusions so you can build something stronger. Remember what you learned before. Pain is not the enemy. It's a signal. And confusion is part of that pain. By choosing clarity, you're choosing to listen to that signal honestly. You're choosing to feel the pain without becoming it. You're choosing to stop waiting for them to choose you. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their love to move forward. You just need yourself. You need your own truth and your own courage. Because this journey, this heartbreak journey, it's not about them anymore. It's about you, about becoming whole again, about learning to love yourself fiercely and without apology. So take this moment. Take this chapter of your story. Own the truth of what happened. Stop idealizing what was never real. Anchor yourself in reality. Use clarity as your shield and your sword. This is your path out of the heartbreak trap. The next step is to own your role without self-blame. Because healing isn't about blaming yourself or them. It's about understanding your part in the story so you can write the next chapter with intention and strength. You're not a victim of the past. You're the author of your future. Keep going. You're closer than you think. Chapter 4. Own your role without self-blame. Made mistakes. That's not weakness. That's human. Every relationship is a two-way street. It doesn't matter how much they hurt you or how much they chose not to see you. You have a role in what happened. Owning that role isn't a confession of failure. It's strength. It's the first step toward reclaiming your power. When you say, "I messed up here," you're not giving them control over your story. You're taking it back. You're saying, "I'm not perfect, but I'm responsible for me." But here's the hard truth. Owning your role doesn't mean drowning in self-blame. That spiral, it's a trap. Self-blame feels like taking the wheel, but really, it's letting the darkness drive you off the road. It's not accountability. It's self-destruction disguised as humility. That voice inside that keeps saying, "It's all your fault," is a lie. It's a poison. It will make you smaller and smaller until you forget you ever mattered. You have to separate accountability from shame. They are not the same. Accountability says, "What can I learn?" Shame says, "I am worthless." Don't confuse the two. Don't let shame be your soundtrack. Look at your part honestly. No excuses, no whitewashing, no blaming them to cover your eyes. What did you do that hurt the relationship? What habits did you repeat that sabotaged your happiness? Did you stay silent when you needed to speak? Did you ignore your gut? Did you let fear keep you stuck on it? Say it out loud if you have to. I stayed too long. I didn't set boundaries. I wanted to be enough so badly I lost myself. That's real. That's raw. That's the soil where growth begins. Then, and this is the hardest part, forgive yourself. Not because you're perfect, not because you deserve it, but because holding on to your mistakes like chains will only bury you deeper. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, a clearing of space in your heart. You can't grow in a garden full of weeds. You have to pull them out, roots and all. Forgive yourself for not seeing sooner, for staying when you knew better, for loving someone who never chose you. Forgive yourself because you deserve a fresh start. When you own your role without self-blame, you reclaim your story. You stop being a victim of your mistakes and become a student of your pain. That's the difference. Victims get stuck. Students learn and move forward. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need them to say they were wrong or that they missed out. You need to look in the mirror and say, I am enough. I am learning. I am growing. This isn't about them anymore. It hasn't been for a while. It's about you, about your worth, about your future, about building a life where you don't have to beg for someone's attention or approval. That starts with owning your part, not to punish yourself, but to free yourself, to stop waiting for closure that won't come, to stop holding on to sand that slips through your fingers no matter how tightly you grip. You may feel like you're alone in this, like the weight of your mistakes is a secret burden no one else can understand. But you're not the first to feel this way. Heartbreak is a brutal teacher, but it's also a brutal equalizer. Everyone who has ever loved and lost has faced their own reflection with all its flaws and failures. The difference is who they become after. Will you let this break you, or will you build from it? Healing doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't hurt. Healing means seeing your role clearly, forgiving yourself fiercely, and stepping into your power. It means stopping the endless replay of what if and if only and starting to ask, what now? What now, when the chapters you thought were forever are closed? What now, when your heart is cracked but still beating? Start small. Write down the things you did that you regret. Be honest. Then write down what you learned from each one. This is not a list to shame yourself, but a map to your growth. Then say out loud, I forgive myself for this. Repeat it. Mean it. Let it sink in. Forgiveness doesn't erase your past, but it changes your relationship with it. Stop thinking you should have done everything right. You were doing the best you could with what you knew at the time. That's all anyone ever does. Stop thinking you should carry the weight of the entire relationship's failure on your shoulders. It takes two to break a bond. It takes two to build one. You don't have to carry their mistakes, their neglect, their coldness. That's their burden, not yours. Start doing what feels good for you. Set boundaries that protect your heart. Speak your truth even when it shakes you. Surround yourself with people who see your worth without question. Let go of the stories that keep you small. You have to let go. You don't need their apology. You don't need their recognition. You need you. Remember what you learned from feeling the pain without becoming it. This is not about making yourself wrong. It's about making yourself whole. It's about moving from a place of hurt into a place of hope. You'll stumble. You'll falter. But each time you own your truth without shame, you get stronger. This is where your journey truly begins. Not with their choice, but with your courage. Not with their love, but with your self-respect. Not with their apology, but with your forgiveness. You have the power to change the story. You have the strength to heal the wound. You have the right to choose yourself. The next step is clear. You've done the hardest part, looking inside without breaking. Now it's time to take action. It's time to cut the toxic ties without guilt. Because holding on to what hurts you is not loyalty. It's self-destruction, and you deserve better than that. You have to let go. Stop waiting for closure. They already showed you who they are. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You don't need their apology to heal. You need to own your role, forgive yourself, and take that first brave step into freedom. Chapter 5. Cut the toxic ties without guilt. Sometimes love isn't enough. You have to hear that again, because it goes against everything your heart wants to believe. You want love to fix the pain. You want love to erase the hurt. But love alone can't save you if it's tied to something toxic. If holding on drags you under deeper every time, love is no longer your ally, it's your chain. It's the weight pulling you down when you're already gasping for air. You have to let go. That's the hardest part because it feels like surrender. But surrender isn't defeat. Surrender is choosing yourself over the damage. It's saying, I won't let this break me anymore. Sometimes the most loving thing you can do for yourself is to walk away. Not because you stopped caring, but because you started caring enough to protect your soul. Recognize when a connection drains you more than it fuels you. When someone takes and never gives back. When every interaction leaves you feeling emptier, smaller, less than you were before. That's not love. That's toxicity. And it's not selfish to protect your peace. Protecting your peace is the bravest thing you can do. It's the fiercest act of self-love. You've spent so much time waiting for them to choose you. Waiting for their love, their attention, their respect. Waiting for them to see you the way you see them. But they already showed you who they are. They never chose you. And that's not your fault. It's their choice. It's their failure to recognize your worth. Your job now is to stop waiting. Stop hoping. Stop bending yourself into a shape that fits someone else's version of love. Cut the toxic ties without guilt. This guilt is the enemy of your freedom. Guilt tells you that you owe them something. Guilt tells you that walking away makes you cruel or weak. Guilt is a liar. Guilt chains you to suffering. You don't owe anyone your pain. You owe yourself peace. You owe yourself healing. You owe yourself the chance to breathe freely again. Set boundaries like your life depends on it because it does. Boundaries aren't walls to keep people out forever. They're fences that protect your garden so it can grow. Boundaries say, this is where I end and you begin. They say, I choose to honor my limits. When you set boundaries, you reclaim your power. You show yourself you matter. Sometimes that means blocking contact. Yes, blocking. Because when the phone rings, when the messages pop up, when the memories flood in, it's harder to let go. That digital tether keeps you hooked in ways your heart can't ignore. Blocking isn't punishment. It's protection. It's saying, I'm choosing myself over the pain you bring. And sometimes walking away means physically leaving a place or a person who drags you down. It means changing routines, breaking habits, and refusing to let your life orbit around someone who doesn't cherish you. This isn't easy. It's brutal. It's raw. But it's necessary. You might feel like you're being harsh or cold. You might worry about what others will say or think. But remember, this isn't about them anymore. This is about you. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their validation to move on. You need your own permission to be free. Stop thinking that loving someone means you have to endure everything. Stop thinking that pain equals love. Pain can be a sign that something is wrong, not a badge of honor. You don't have to prove your love by sacrificing your well-being. Loving yourself means knowing when to say no. Loving yourself means knowing when to walk away. Practice ruthless self-care, not the Instagram version that's all baths and candles. Real, ruthless self-care is brutal honesty with yourself. It's looking at your pain and saying, "This is not my forever." It's refusing to settle for crumbs when you deserve a feast. It's feeding your soul with kindness, respect, and peace. When guilt creeps in, name it. Call it out. Tell yourself, "This guilt is a shadow. It does not define me." Repeat it until you believe it. You have the right to choose peace over pain. You have the right to protect your heart from harm. You have the right to say no to anything that doesn't serve your healing. Remember, this isn't about them anymore. It's about you. You have to put yourself first now. This is the moment you stop letting your worth depend on someone else's failure to see it. This is the moment you start building a life where your peace comes first. It won't be easy. There will be nights when the silence is deafening and the memories haunt you like ghosts. But you have to keep reminding yourself, they never chose you. They never fought for you. And that's where your true beginning lies. You don't have to be stuck in the pain of what you lost or what never was. You don't have to keep waiting for closure that will never come. You have to create your own closure. You have to choose yourself every time. Cutting toxic ties is the boldest, bravest act you can take on this journey. It's the first step toward freedom. The first step toward reclaiming your identity. The first step toward a life where your worth is not negotiated or questioned. You've already done the hardest work feeling the pain without becoming it, owning your role without self-blame, and stopping the endless wait for them to choose you. Now it's time to build something new, something real, something that belongs entirely to you. This is not the end of your story. It's the beginning of a new chapter, where you build your identity outside the relationship, where you find yourself again, not in someone else's eyes, but in your own. You owe it to yourself to walk free, to breathe without guilt, to love without chains. This is your moment to cut the toxic ties and step into the life you deserve. Chapter 6. Build your identity outside the relationship. Heartbreak feels like losing yourself. It feels like the person who left took a piece of you with them. Like you're hollowed out, an empty shell waiting to be filled. But here's the truth. That's a lie. An illusion that you can shatter if you choose to. Because you never lost yourself. You just forgot who you were outside of them. When you're with someone for a long time, your identity can get wrapped up in their presence. Their likes, their dislikes, their routines become yours by default. You start to see your life through their eyes, measure your worth by their attention. That's how you ended up feeling lost now that they're gone. But that doesn't mean your identity vanished. It means you stopped paying attention to your own story. And that story is still there, waiting for you to turn the page. Reconnecting with yourself means digging up the parts you shelved away. Those passions you had before them. The friends you drifted from because they didn't fit into your life together. The dreams you put on pause because they weren't part of us. It's time to find those again. They're not just distractions. They're the building blocks of who you are. Remember that hobby you loved, but stopped because it wasn't your thing with them. Pick it back up. It's not just about filling time. It's about reclaiming joy. Feel the happiness that comes from doing something just for you. It's messy at first. Maybe you're rusty or unsure. That's okay. The point isn't perfection. It's presence you with yourself. Reach out to friends you lost touch with. The ones who saw you before you were someone's partner. Real friends don't disappear because your relationship changes. They wait for you to come back. Don't wait for them to notice your absence. Take the first step. Send a message, make a call, ask for coffee. These connections remind you that you belong outside any romantic tie. You are part of a bigger world. And what about those dreams? The ones you whispered to yourself in the quiet moments. The ones you shoved aside because now isn't the right time. Now is exactly the right time. Your dreams are yours. They don't need permission or approval. They don't hinge on anyone else's presence. Your future belongs to you, not to the story you had with them. You are not half a person. You are whole. You are worthy. You are complete on your own. This is the hardest truth to hold on to when your heart is breaking. Because the temptation is to believe you need them to feel enough. To believe you're incomplete without their love. But that's the very illusion you must break free from. Your story is not a co-written script that ended badly. It's your solo narrative. You're the protagonist, the hero, the survivor. You have chapters behind you filled with growth and lessons. You have chapters ahead waiting to be written chapters where you choose your own plot, your own pace, your own ending. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. Stop waiting for their choice to define your worth. Stop measuring your value by their absence or presence. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their recognition to move forward. You are enough because you exist, because you breathe, because you keep waking up to fight another day. Don't let yourself forget this. Heartbreak can feel like a storm that tears everything down. But storms clear the air. They wash away what's unnecessary. They leave space for new growth. And that growth starts with rediscovering you. You have to let go of the myth that you lost yourself with them, that you are unfinished or broken without their love. You are not broken. You are rebuilding. You are remembering. You are reclaiming. Start small if you need to. Write down 3 things you loved doing before this relationship. Then commit to doing 1 this week. Call 1 friend you haven't spoken to in a while. Say yes to an opportunity that scares you. These actions aren't just distractions. They are declarations. Declarations that you are alive, that you are here, that you are choosing yourself. The process won't be linear. Some days you'll feel strong. Other days you'll feel like you're slipping back into the pain. That's normal. Healing isn't a straight line. But every time you choose you build resilience. Every time you reconnect with your passions, your friends, your dreams, you take a step further from heartbreak and closer to wholeness. Remember, you were whole before them. You will be whole after. You are not defined by who stayed or who left. You are defined by who you choose to be now. This chapter is a turning point. It's where you stop living in the shadow of a relationship that never chose you and start shining your own light. You're not a supporting character in their story anymore. You are the hero in your own. And that hero is stronger, wiser, and more worthy than the pain you feel. Hold on to that truth. Repeat it when the loneliness creeps in. Repeat it when the night feels endless. Repeat it when the memories try to pull you back. You are whole, you are worthy, you are enough. Now, the next step is to stop seeking closure from them. Because closure isn't something they give you. It's something you create. We'll get into that next. But for now, hold tight to who you are outside this pain. That is where your real beginning lies. Chapter 7. Stop seeking closure from them. You're still waiting. Waiting for them to say something that makes sense. Waiting for answers that will finally put your mind at rest. Waiting for the moment when everything feels like it's wrapped up neatly, with a bow on top. But here's the truth you need to hear. closure is a myth. It's a lie sold to keep you stuck, hoping for explanations that may never come. They never chose you, and no amount of waiting will change that. You think if you just get that one conversation, that one apology, or that one "I'm sorry," you'll finally be free. But you won't, because closure doesn't come from them. It can't. It's not theirs to give. It's yours to create. Real closure means accepting that some questions will remain unanswered. Some wounds won't have a clear reason or a tidy ending. Some people will leave you with silence or half-truths, or worse, see no explanation at all. You want to understand why. You want to know what you did wrong, what you missed, what you could have changed. You're searching for logic in the chaos, but sometimes there is none. Sometimes people don't choose you because they never intended to. Sometimes their leaving isn't about you at all, and that's the hardest part to swallow. You can't fix what was never whole. You can't find peace by chasing a closure that's just not there. So stop waiting. Stop holding out for their words, their remorse, their validation. They already showed you who they are. Their silence, their absence, their refusal to engadget's the answer you need. Not the one you want, but the one you need. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. About your healing, your strength, your future. Real closure is messy, uncomfortable, and imperfect. It's not a neat little package. It's raw acceptance. It's sitting with the pain and saying, "I may never know why," and that's okay. It's choosing to stop looking behind you, even when the past keeps tugging at your sleeve. It's deciding to write your own and ding your own piece without waiting for someone else to hand it to you. You have to let go. Let go of the hope that they will come back and explain themselves. Let go of the fantasy that one conversation will make everything better, because it won't. It never has. Every time you reach out, every time you wonder if you should try again, you're giving your power away. You're placing your emotional well-being in their hands, and they already made their choice. The moment they walked away, they chose a different path on that doesn't include you. This isn't about blame. It's about reclaiming what's yours. Your peace, your future, your life. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their permission to move on. You don't need their explanation to find happiness again. You need to stop waiting for closure and start giving it to yourself. So what does that look like? How do you find that closure inside you when the world feels so broken? First, stop asking the questions that have no answers. Stop replaying conversations that never happened. Stop searching for meaning in a story that left you out. Instead, focus on what you can control. Start by acknowledging your pain without trying to fix it. Feel the ache, the loss, the confusion. Sit with it. Let it wash over you. This isn't weakness. This is courage. This is the beginning of your healing. You can't move forward without feeling what's inside. But once you've felt it, don't let it define you. Next, write your own ending. This isn't about rewriting the past. It's about reclaiming your narrative. Imagine what peace feels like, what freedom looks like, what love for yourself means. Picture it clearly. Then, take small steps toward that vision every day. Say no to thoughts that pull you back into the past. Say yes to actions that move you forward. Create new routines that remind you of your worth. Surround yourself with people who see you. Engage in activities that make you feel alive. Build your identity outside of the relationship that left you hollow. This is how you take back your power. This is how you close the door on what never was and open a window to what can be. Remember, closure is not a destination. It's a process. It's a series of choices you make every day to let go, to forgive yourself, to trust the unknown ahead. It's messy, it's painful, it's slow, but it's real, and it's yours. You might still feel doubt creeping in. You might still wonder if you should reach out one more time. That's normal. The mind loves to trap you in loops of what if. But don't let it fool you. Each time you resist that urge, you're proving to yourself that you're stronger than the heartbreak, that you don't need their closure because you're creating your own. This chapter isn't just about ending a relationship. It's about ending the cycle of waiting and hoping for someone who already chose not to be there. It's about stepping into the power of your own story. It's about trusting that your peace doesn't depend on their actions. It never did. You don't need their closure to be whole. You don't need their answers to move on. You don't need their apology to forgive or their explanation to understand. What you need is to stop waiting, to stop looking back, to stop giving your power away. This isn't the end of your story. It's the beginning of something new. A story where you are the author, the hero, and the healer. Where you create your own peace, your own meaning, and your own love. Where you trust that better things are not just possible, they are waiting. Hold on to that truth. Let it steady you in the dark hours. Let it guide you when the pain feels unbearable. Let it remind you that you don't have to wait any longer. You don't have to seek closure from them, because real closure comes from within. You're not broken beyond repair. You're not lost without their answers. You're enough just as you are. Now take that strength and carry it forward. Trust that better love is waiting. Chapter 8. Trust that better love is waiting. Heartbreak convinces you that love is scarce. Like it's a limited edition, a prize only a few get to hold. But that's a lie. Love is endless. It's infinite and waiting for you. Waiting for you to open your hands again, to believe again, to claim it. The wound you carry doesn't shrink love. It just clouds your vision. It makes you think love has a cap, a finish line you've already crossed. But love isn't a race or a game with winners and losers. Love is a well that never runs dry. You can draw from it again and again. Even when your heart feels broken and empty, you have to trust this. Trust that the right person will come. The one who chooses you fully, without hesitation, without doubt. Not because you begged, not because you changed yourself into someone else, but because you are enough. Because they see you, all of you, and want every piece. This kind of love doesn't make you question your worth or your place in their life. It doesn't leave you wondering if you're good enough. They don't pause. They don't second guess. They choose you, and they mean it. Right now, it may feel impossible to believe. You might be thinking, how can I trust love again? How can I believe in someone else after what I went through? That's normal. It's the heart trying to protect itself from more pain. But protecting yourself by closing off love is the very thing that keeps you stuck. You have to let love in, even if it feels scary. You have to let yourself be chosen again. But before that happens, there's one person you must choose, yourself. Fiercely, relentlessly. Because the love you give yourself is the love that sets the standard for everyone else. If you don't show up for yourself, no one else will. If you don't believe in your own worth, no one else can. This isn't about being selfish. This is about survival. This is about reclaiming your heart from the wreckage and rebuilding it stronger than before. When you love yourself fiercely, you stop settling for crumbs. You stop accepting less than you deserve. You stop apologizing for your needs or your boundaries. You create a space inside you where love can grow. A space that says, I am enough. I am worthy. I am whole. This is your foundation. This is your power. So what does that look like like in the middle of this storm? It means stopping the endless questions that tear at your soul. Stop asking, why didn't they choose me? What did I do wrong? Am I not lovable? None of those questions have answers that will heal you. They only keep you trapped in the past. Instead, start asking yourself, what do I need right now? How can I care for myself today? What boundaries do I need to protect my heart? You have to stop waiting for someone else's approval. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their closure to move forward. They already showed you who they are. The truth is in their actions, not their words. And the truth is, they never chose you. But that's not the end of your story. It's where you begin. Begin by turning your attention inward. Begin by nurturing yourself with kindness and patience. Begin by recognizing that love is not a limited resource that runs out when one door closes. Love is endless. It's waiting for you to open your heart again, not to them, but to yourself first. This is where healing starts. Not in the fantasy of what could have been or the hope that they'll come back. Healing starts in the fierce decision to love yourself despite the pain, despite the loneliness, despite the fear that you'll never find someone who chooses you like they did. The truth is, you will, because the right person won't make you question if you're enough. They won't leave you wondering if they really want you. They won't keep you guessing or doubting. They will choose you, fully, without hesitation. And until then, you have to be your own champion, your own choice, your own love. It's okay if it hurts. It's okay if you still feel broken. Healing isn't linear or neat. It's jagged and messy and raw. But every time you show up for yourself, every time you choose to believe in love again, you get a little closer to the peace you crave. Don't let heartbreak convince you that love is over for you. That love is something you missed out on. Love is still waiting. Your heart can still hold it. Your soul can still reach for it. But first, you have to trust it's there. You have to trust yourself to receive it. You have to trust that better love is coming because you deserve it. And while you wait, don't sit in loneliness as if it's a prison. Use it as a launchpad. Use this time alone to build a new foundation, to strengthen the love inside you so that when the right person comes, you're ready. You'll recognize them. You'll know what it feels like to be chosen fully because you've already chosen yourself. This isn't about rushing to find someone new. It's about becoming someone new. Someone who loves themselves fiercely enough to never settle for less again. Someone who knows love is infinite, not finite. Someone who trusts that the right love will come, and when it does, it won't be hesitant or conditional. So stop waiting for closure from them. Stop waiting for their call, their apology, their sign. Stop waiting for anything from anyone who never truly chose you. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you, about your healing, about your fierce, unshakable love for yourself. Believe in that love. Hold on to it. Nurture it. Because it's the love that will carry you through the dark nights and the lonely mornings. It's the love that will guide you to someone who will choose you fully, without doubt or hesitation. It's the love that will remind you every day that you are enough. And when you reach that place when you stop waiting and start living, when you love yourself fiercely and trust that love is endless, you'll be ready. Ready to welcome better love. Ready to be chosen. Ready to begin again. Now take that fierce love you've built inside and carry it with you into the next phase. Use loneliness as a launchpad, not a prison. Let it propel you forward, not hold you back. Because this journey is yours, and it's just beginning. Chapter 9. Use loneliness as a launchpad, not a prison. Loneliness wraps around you like a cold, unwelcome blanket. It's sharp. It's raw. It's the ache that won't quit. But here's the truth you need to hear. Loneliness is not your enemy. It's not a trap designed to keep you stuck. It's fertile ground. It's where your real work begins. You don't have to run from it. You don't have to fill it with noise or distractions. You have to sit with it. You have to lean into it. And someone leave us her when they never chose you in the first place. That silence screams louder than anything. The urge to fill that silence is powerful. You want your phone to buzz. You want a message. You want to hear a voice that makes the loneliness disappear for just a moment. But here's the thing. Filling the void with distractions or rebound relationships only delays what you truly need. It's a temporary fix, a bandage on a wound that needs to breathe and heal. Sit with yourself instead. Let the loneliness be the space where you meet yourself again. This is where you find parts of you that got lost in the chaos of waiting and hoping. This is where you reclaim who you are without them in your story. You have to let go of the idea that you need someone else to complete you. You were whole before, and you will be whole again. Loneliness is painful. No sugarcoating that. But pain is the language of change. It forces you to slow down. It forces you to look inward. It forces you to confront things about yourself you couldn't see before. You start to notice your own thoughts, your patterns, your fears, your desires. You start to understand what you really want, not what you think you want because of someone else's absence. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about the work you've been avoiding because it's uncomfortable. It's about facing the quiet moments instead of running from them. You have to resist the urge to numb yourself with endless scrolling, partying, or jumping into the next person who promises to make you feel seen. Those things don't heal you. They only bury the pain for a while. And when the distraction ends, the ache is still there waiting, louder than before. Use solitude as your strength. It's a superpower you never realized you had. When you sit alone and feel lonely, you are building resilience. You are learning to be your own companion. You are proving that you can survive your own company. That's a lesson most people never learn. And it's the foundation for better relationships in the future relationships where you are not dependent on someone else to feel whole. Think about it like this. Every moment alone is a moment to grow. It's a moment to pick up the pieces of your broken heart and put them together in a way that makes sense to you. Not to them, not to anyone else, to you. This is the time to rewrite your story, to stop telling yourself the lies that keep you stuck. You don't need their apology to heal. You don't need their closure. You don't need them at all. You're here because they never chose you. And that's where you begin. Not with bitterness or regret, but with fierce determination to build a life that feels good on your own terms. You are planting seeds in the soil of your loneliness. It's dark, yes. It's scary, yes. But it's also rich with possibility. When you resist the urge to fill the void, you're giving yourself permission to feel everything. The sadness, the anger, the confusion, the hope, all of it. And when you feel it fully, you start to understand it. You start to make peace with it. You stop letting it run your life. You start to run your life instead. It's okay to cry in the quiet. It's okay to scream into your pillow. It's okay to feel like you're falling apart. Because falling apart is just the first step toward putting yourself back together. Stronger, wiser, more aware, more alive. You don't have to have all the answers right now. You don't have to know what comes next. You just have to keep showing up for yourself. Day after day. Hour after hour. When the loneliness comes, don't run. Welcome it. Invite it in. Ask it what it wants to teach you. Turn solitude into strength. Watch how it changes you. Watch how it prepares you for richer connections, where you are not chasing or begging, but choosing and being chosen in return. You're not broken because they left. You're whole because you survived. This stage of your journey is about planting your feet firmly on your own ground. It's about proving to yourself that you can be your own home, your own comfort, your own love. That's the foundation no one can take away. That's power no heartbreak can steal. Remember, you don't need to fix yourself to deserve love. You are deserving exactly as you are. But use this time alone to grow into the person who knows that. The person who won't settle for less than they deserve. The person who won't wait around for someone else to decide their worth. You have to let go of the idea that you are incomplete without them. The truth is, you are enough. You always were. You just forgot for a while. This loneliness is the reminder. It's the wake-up call. It's the invitation to come home to yourself. Stop waiting for closure from them. They already showed you who they are. They never chose you. And that's not your failure. That's their choice, not yours. This isn't about them anymore. It's about reclaiming your power and your peace. You're on the path now. The path of healing. The path of growth. The path of becoming someone who knows that love is not scarce. Love is not a prize given to a select few. Love is abundant. And it starts with the love you give yourself. You will fall into loneliness. You will want to run from it. But don't. Lean into it. Use it. Let it teach you. Let it transform you. Let it prepare you for what's next. Because what's next is better than what you left behind. And it starts with you. Keep moving forward, even when it hurts. That's the next step. Keep moving forward. Chapter 10. Keep moving forward, even when it hurts. Healing isn't a straight line. You know that by now. Some days, you wake up feeling like you've moved forward. You find a little peace. You catch yourself smiling again. And then the next day, or maybe even the same day, a wave crashes over you. You feel like you're back at square one. The ground beneath your feet feels shaky. The progress you thought you made feels like a lie. But here's the truth. Movement is progress, even when it feels like 2 steps back. Every moment you keep going is a victory. Every breath you take is a choice to keep living your story, not theirs. You don't have to leap over the pain in giant bounds. Healing isn't about giant leaps. It's about the small steps you take when you want to curl up and disappear. It's about the tiny acts of self-love you commit to when the world feels cold and empty. It's brushing your teeth, getting out of bed, making a cup of tea, choosing to eat something nourishing, even if it's just a bite. It's those small moments that build the bridge from the broken version of yourself to the whole one waiting on the other side. You might feel like you're barely holding on. That's okay. Holding on is the point. Even when it feels impossible, keep showing up for yourself. Stop thinking that healing means forgetting or rushing to feel better. It doesn't. Healing means feeling every jagged edge of your pain and still deciding you're worth the fight. It means waking up and telling yourself, I'm enough. I am worthy. I am deserving of love, even if I don't believe it right now. You are not weak for feeling broken. You are strong for still moving forward when every part of you wants to give up. Remember this, walking away from what never chose you is the bravest thing you will ever do. It's not easy. It feels like tearing a piece of your heart out and watching it fall away. But it's the first step toward the life you deserve. The life where you wake up without that heavy ache in your chest. The life where you don't have to beg for crumbs of affection or seek validation from someone who never showed up. You've been waiting for them to choose you, but they never will. They already showed you who they are. They made their choice when they left. It wasn't about you not being enough. It was about them never being able to truly see your worth. And now, it's your turn to choose yourself. You have to let go of the idea that they will come back with answers or apologies. Stop waiting for closure from them. That closure doesn't exist. It never will. You don't need their apology to heal. Closure is something you give yourself. It's the moment you accept that you are not responsible for their choices. You are responsible for your healing. You are responsible for creating a new life that feels good to you. It's terrifying, I know, but it's also the most freeing thing you will ever do. Some days, you'll feel like you're moving forward with purpose and grace. Other days, the pain will swallow you whole, and you'll feel paralyzed. That's normal. That's human. Healing isn't about perfection. It's about persistence. It's about showing up for yourself, even when your heart feels like it's been ripped apart. It's about saying yes to the small moments of joy and peace, even if they're fleeting. It's about believing, deep down, that there is something better waiting for you on the other side of this pain. Start by creating tiny rituals that remind you you are loved. By you. Maybe it's journaling for 5 minutes each morning, writing down 3 things you're grateful for. Maybe it's taking a short walk outside and feeling the sun on your skin. Maybe it's lighting a candle and sitting quietly with your thoughts, allowing yourself to just be. These aren't big gestures. They don't fix everything overnight, but they remind you that you matter, that you're worth the effort, that your heart is healing bit by bit. You have to be patient with yourself. You have to forgive yourself for the days you fall apart, because falling apart isn't failure. It's part of the process. When you feel overwhelmed, remind yourself, this pain is not forever. The heaviness will lift. The ache will dull. Your heart will find new ways to love and be loved. But only if you keep moving forward, even when it hurts. You might feel isolated right now, like no one understands the depth of your pain. But you're not alone. Every person who has ever loved and lost has walked this path. Every person who has ever felt broken has had to find a way back to themselves. It's not easy, but it is possible. And it starts with the decision to keep moving. Not for them, not for the past, for you. You don't need to rush the healing. You don't need to have it all figured out. You only need to take the next right step, no matter how small, no matter how painful, because walking away from what never chose you is the bravest step you'll ever take. It's the declaration that your life is not defined by their absence. It's the moment you reclaim your power, your worth, your future. Every day you choose yourself is a day you rewrite your story. You are not broken beyond repair. You are not lost. You are becoming whole again. You are learning to love yourself fiercely. You are building a life that no one can take away. You are proving to yourself that your happiness does not depend on someone else's choice. It depends on yours. So keep moving. Keep waking up and choosing to show up for yourself. Keep committing to those small acts of self-love, even when it feels impossible. Keep reminding yourself that healing is not linear, and that's okay. Because every step forward is progress. Every step forward brings you closer to the peace and love you deserve. This isn't about them anymore. It's about you. It's about the life waiting for you on the other side of this heartbreak. The life where you no longer settle for crumbs. The life where you walk in with your head high, carrying your worth like a shield. You are more than the pain. You are more than the loss. You are the one who chooses the next chapter. And that chapter begins now. You started this journey broken, confused, maybe even defeated. But look at you now. You're not the same person who begged for love that couldn't see your worth. You're not waiting in the shadows anymore. You're becoming someone new. Someone who finally understands that your value was never theirs to give or take. This is your turning point. The moment you stop replaying the pain and start rewriting your story. Keep feeling. Keep growing. Keep choosing yourself every single day, because the love you've been chasing out there, it begins in here. So stand tall, breathe deep, walk forward, stronger, softer, freer. Your healing isn't a finish line. It's your new way of living. Keep moving, friend. You've got this.